So, if you're using WordPress, you already know plugins are basically magic, right? They're your superpowers. You can add a shop, rocket your SEO, you can do pretty much anything you can dream up. But what if those very same tools, the ones that are supposed to be building your site, are actually, secretly, breaking it? Well, that's what we call the plugin paradox, and we're about to dive deep into it. And look, this is a really serious question every single WordPress site owner needs to ask themselves. You know the feeling. You install a plugin to fix one thing, and suddenly, your site is slow, it's crashing, or worse. Today we're going to unpack this whole plugin paradox and show you how to get all that power without any of the pain.
Now, where are we getting this inside scoop? Well, it's kind of funny. It comes from a support article published by WordPress.com themselves, all about the plugins they flat out ban on their platform. And this blacklist? It's like a treasure map that reveals exactly what kinds of plugins cause the biggest headaches, and more importantly, why.
So here's the deal with the plugin paradox. The very tools that give you these incredible flexible features can also become your single biggest liability. You see, there's a small but really problematic group of plugins that are notorious for causing chaos. And they're blocked on big managed platforms like WordPress.com for a very good reason. They're known to cause crashes, open up security holes, or just grind your entire site to a screeching halt.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. When you dig into why these plugins are on the block list, you see a clear pattern. WordPress.com actually groups them into these distinct categories, and each one of these categories teaches us a massive lesson about how to keep a website fast and stable.
First on the list, caching plugins. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds completely backwards, right? Caching is supposed to make your site faster. But see, popular tools like W3 Total Caching are often blocked because they end up fighting with the high-performance caching systems that are already built into the hosting platform. The lesson here is simple. When you have two different systems trying to do the exact same job, they usually just trip over each other.
Next up, backup plugins. Yeah, they're absolutely essential, but so many of them are just resource hogs. Plugins like Duplicator get banned because they're constantly scanning files and dumping the database, which can eat up so much server power that your actual visitors get a slow, frustrating experience. The takeaway? Even the most necessary tools have to be efficient.
And then you've got the silent assassins of site speed, plugins that just hammer your database with requests. You know, analytics tools like WP Statistics might give you some cool charts, but every time someone views a page, it can fire off a new request to your database. Now, multiply that by thousands of visitors, and you're basically launching a denial of service attack against your own website.
And believe me, the list just keeps going. You've got plugins that can accidentally delete your entire database, others that scrape content from other sites, and even security plugins that end up clashing with the security measures already on the server. Every single one is a little cautionary tale about picking your plugins carefully.
So all of this, it really boils down to a huge choice every WordPress user faces. Do you want the safety of a managed walled garden, or do you want the absolute freedom of a self-hosted site?
See, on a managed platform, they make these tough plugin decisions for you to guarantee everything stays stable. But if you self-host, you get total freedom. You can install anything you want. The catch? Well, the responsibility for performance, for security, for making sure nothing breaks, it's all on you now.
When you install WP Blink Cache, you get a powerful WordPress caching plugin and expert support from SeekAHost. Their specialists guide you step-by-step through setup, configuring it perfectly for your website for the fastest performance with peace of mind.
And look, when that responsibility lands squarely on your shoulders, your absolute #1 job is speed. In the world we live in today, performance isn't just a nice little feature. It is the foundation of everything, from how much users enjoy your site to how high you rank on Google. I mean, just let this number sink in for a second. Almost half, 47% of your potential visitors will just leave if your site takes more than 3 seconds to load. 3 seconds! That is literally the difference between getting a new customer and losing one forever. Speed isn't a luxury, it's a basic requirement.
Okay, so how do we actually get that speed, especially when we're in charge of a self-hosted site? The answer, my friends, is caching. It's basically the process of creating a pre-built, ready-to-go version of your web page so it can be delivered to a visitor instantly instead of making the server build it from scratch every single time.
But, as we just saw from that block list, not all caching is good caching, right? You need a plugin that's really powerful, but also smart enough to not cause conflicts. And this is where a well-designed caching solution really shines. Let's take a look at a tool like WP Blink Cache to see what doing it right actually looks like. So, if we use a tool like WP Blink Cache as our example, we can see the core principles of a great solution. It's lightweight, which is key, and it's specifically engineered to give you that speed boost without creating those conflicts with your theme, your other plugins, or your server. It's built to play nice with everything else.
You see, a really smart caching strategy isn't just one thing. It's a whole multi-layered approach. You have page caching for those first-time visitors, object caching to speed up those database-heavy tasks we talked about, and browser caching, which makes the site load almost instantly for anyone who comes back for a second visit.
And a top-tier performance plugin does way more than just caching. It should also be smart enough to shrink your code, compress your files to make them smaller, and it has to be designed to be conflict-free. It's a whole toolkit designed to improve those core web vitals that Google is obsessed with right now.
Okay, so what does all this tech actually do? What's the payoff? Well, the impact is huge. Users often see their site speed double or even triple. A great plugin can give you a massive boost on its own, but that effect is multiplied when you pair it with hosting that's specifically optimized to work with it.
All right, so you get the problem, you see what a good solution looks like. Now what? How do you actually put this into practice and get these results for your own site? The great news is the path forward is actually really clear.
Honestly, it's simpler than you might think. It really just boils down to these 3 key steps. 1, start with a solid foundation. That means optimized hosting. 2, install a smart, lightweight caching plugin that's built on the principles we've been talking about. And 3, test everything. Don't just feel like it's faster. Prove it to yourself with real data.
And you need a target to aim for, right? Here it is. This is what you're shooting for. A Google page speed score of 90 or higher and a time to first byte, which is just how fast the server starts responding, of under 100 milliseconds. With the right tools, these numbers are totally achievable.
So let's bring it all back home. Remember that WordPress.com block list we started with? It wasn't just some random list of banned plugins. It was a masterclass in what can go wrong. And it taught us that compatibility and efficiency aren't just nice-to-haves. They are the absolute foundation of a great website. At the end of the day, the big takeaway is this. You don't need 1,000 confusing settings. You just need the right tool that works smart, not hard. One that works with your website, not against it. It's all about turning that potential pitfall, dynamic content, into your most powerful performance advantage.
And that really leaves us with one final crucial question. Building a website that looks great today is one thing, but building one with the speed and the stability to grow and succeed tomorrow, that's the real challenge. So ask yourself, you've built your site, but is it truly built to last?